Well, hello, hello. My name is Concerned Citizen today. Normally it's Daddy O, but listen, um, I'm watching some stuff here on this damn flood that happened, and God dang, these people. Trump has congratulated himself for the response to the flood in Texas. Come on, man. He's actually congratulating the federal government's response, being there so quick to help and save so many lives, even though the count for the deaths, the devastation that's happened there is over 100 dead, and a lot more, double that amount at least, missing still. And he's congratulating himself. Now here's the problem with all that. That happened Friday. Nothing was signed to be able to authorize the federal government response until Monday. Monday. People in Texas are saying the government hasn't shown up. They didn't show up. There was no federal government rescue and response to this on time, from what I'm understanding from reports that are coming in. And the paperwork, even for that response to happen, to authorize it, to release the money and say, okay, go do this, was not until Monday. I mean, can we continue listening to these lies and lies and lies and expect anything different out of this? I've told you before, if their mouth is moving, they're lying. Come on. I mean, and this is a sad thing that we're into this again. I mean, back when we thought we got rid of him the first time, it was great. It was great, just not even have to much think about him, even though we were hearing all the criminal stuff that was happening. And the criminal stuff has continued. He's a con man. And that's the hardest thing for people to understand, that a con man, when they talk, they're lying. That's just it. They are lying to us. And that's what's happened. He's lied and lied and lied. Again, taking credit, taking, kudos for being the ones that responded so quickly when they didn't even start responding until Monday. And that time was wasted. Those families sat there in horror, doing the searching themselves with local authorities. And that's the way the government wants it. They want it always to be a local response now to do the rescues. Don't depend on the federal government. They're not coming. I did a video on that the other day. They're not coming to rescue you. No, this is a hurtful crew. And I've talked about the Alcatraz, alligator Alcatraz thing. They're hurtful. But to come out and to start taking credit for something that you didn't even do, didn't even show up for, till days later. I mean, how long does it take for people to sit and watch this crap without trying to do something about it? And I mean, do something about it is make your voices heard. I'm not talking about anything violent. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about make your voices heard. When you see something like this that is so wrong, you got to say something. The other day, he had an African delegation there at the White House in front of him. One of the individuals was from Liberia. Well, he doesn't even know enough to know that Liberia actually become a country because of America. And he was giving the person kudos for being able to speak English so well. He was surprised. I'm surprised about how well you speak English, not knowing that is the language of Liberia. That's the language there. It was an American colony. Those people, that's the language in Liberia. And he was shocked to be able to see how well spoken the person was, and was giving him kudos and asking him questions. Why should we expect anything better, I guess we could say. But yeah, when I see things that are so, a lie, I guess daily, 4 or 5 times a day, I could do videos on the lies that come out every day that are just so blatantly misleading. But when you start trying to take credit for a tragedy and say that we should be thankful that you responded so fast and saved so many more lives. It could have been so much worse. He said in the interview it could have been 2 or 3 times worse. We don't even know what the final number is going to be. We still got over 100 people missing, according to the authorities. I think we're in the 100 and teens right now. I know it was over 110 so far bodies recovered, confirmed deaths, and there's still 100 and some odd people missing. And you're going to start taking victory laps for something that you did not do. Who does that? Who freaking does that kind of stuff? But someone that's kind of screwed up in the head, that's just, he's lost it. And people are scared to say anything because they're afraid he's going to, fire them. This has become his reality TV show. We're living a reality TV show right now. It's just hard for us to accept it. Ted, what we're living through is just, his version of, this TV show he wants to do. He's on television every day. I mean, yeah, come on. He's just extended that reality show he had years ago. I watched it only a few times, but because I already knew, and I've told you before, I already knew about Trump. I'm old. I'm freaking old. I already knew about Trump. We knew about, if you paid attention and you were my age and really paying attention during the 1990s, you knew who Trump was. If you read the paper, if you watched the news, if you were one of those that was out there that paid attention, you'd heard the stories about Trump. He's been a scam artist all of his life. You can go back and look at records after records after records. But the problem is, you're getting people to actually admit it. They've heard the stories, but they want to think. It's confusing. It really is. I can only think that the reason he becomes so popular so fast was his racist bigotry. His downright racist because we have that problem here in America. It's always been here. I remember as a little boy, there's a very large town near where I lived, and as a little boy in the 1950s, we'd go over to go shopping in this large town. Well, in this large town, there was a Sears and Roebuck. That was the main store over there, right downtown. And I remember as a little boy going into the stores and seeing the signs where it said, it would say, colored restrooms downstairs, and an arrow would be pointing down the stairs. Colored water fountains. I remember this stuff. I remember those days. That's where they're trying to get us to go back to. They want that again. They'd actually like to see anyone brown out of the country. That would be great to them. That's the people that we're dealing with. That's the bigotry, the hatefulness, the hurtfulness that we're having to deal with today. We've let it come to the forefront, and maybe it's good that it has. This bill that they've just passed, they're going to have to own that for years because there's a lot of hurt coming. I'm not the only one saying that. Go, if you're paying attention, go listen. There's a lot of hurt coming to America. They're going to have to own that. Wherever this ends up at, as bad as it's going to get, because it can't. There's no way it's not going to get bad. To sit and think that this is all going to turn out hunky-dory and we're all going to be making great money and all that kind of stuff, and everyone's going to be getting fed and all. That's not going to happen, okay? You can get those fantasies out of your head. We got hurt coming, and it's all because of the GOP. I used to be a Republican. I was a lifelong Republican since I was 18 years old, until I really saw that Trump was going to be the nominee years ago. When I saw that the Republican Party had gone that far to the crazy, knowing what I knew, had paid attention to over the years of this guy, when I saw that happening, I just had to back off and say, oh my God, This is going to get interesting. I didn't expect it to go so far bananas as it did, and it's gone even worse this time around. And like I say, a lot of people watch the wrong news. They're not paying attention. They don't really care. As long as they got food on their table at night, as long as they got a place to lay their head down, as long as their kids are okay, they're okay right now. When the food stops being on the table, when the jobs start drying up, when their kids are crying from being hungry, it's going to be a different story. You're already hearing those stories, in fact. But when you hear thousands and thousands of stories like this, when you see your neighbors, your friends, people that you work with, when you see those kind of people starting to suffer because of this, so it's going to be good. It might be good to kind of cleanse this evilness that has kind of taken over. It might be good that this has happened so that we can get to that point, so that everyone can say, oh my God, we can't have that. So that everyone can get to that point. The problem is going to be, are we going to be able to vote? So we'll talk about more about that another day. Yeah. But for them to take credit for the response for the flood in Texas, when there was no response for 72 hours before that paperwork was signed, authorizing some federal help, for them to take credit for it, like I said yesterday, or a couple days ago, those are some sick puppies. All right, Daddy-O's gonna let you go for today. You guys have a good evening. Check back with me, subscribe. I'm going to every now and then talk about what I see. Can't help it. Got to. Daddy-O out.